to the Bombadcast.
What's going on, Bombad fam?
Ooh, how you doing tonight?
Dude, what an episode.
People! Sorry. Here we go.
What an episode. I'm so excited to talk about it. I really am. Last week was great. I'm gonna be honest with you, last week was really good. But this episode delivered in some unexpected ways. I'm gonna be honest with you, like truly, like very unexpected.
It took some zigs.
Cool.
It took some zags.
Yeah. Some things weren't surprising. I kind of predicted one thing lasted and this is obviously spoilers discussion already. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
I guess we can give our quick thoughts without spoilers. A lot of people are claiming, and this is just me. This is something I don't have a gripe with, but I've been seeing on Twitter a lot today. On a lot of social spaces.
Years.
Yeah, they're like, this is the best episode of Star Wars TV yet, and I couldn't disagree more.
I would push back on that, but that's just not my flavor. I mean, it is,
but it's not.
But it's not like it's very good. It's good
very
Star
good.
Wars.
Yeah,
it's very good. It is. This is like this is what do you call it? Prestige drama.
Okay, yep.
Right
That's a
here.
great way to put it. God, it's like
prestige drama.
It's like a British. It's like a British show level of drama. You know what I mean? It's like a BBC show. It's like, very dramatic.
Like you're watching The Americans in space.
There you go.
I've never seen The Americans. It's you know what? It's like watching Alias in space. I've actually seen Alias.
Good point. Yeah, that's not bad.
JJ show.
Great show. Bradley Cooper, right? But the thing is,
I first saw him.
That's where he first started. But the thing is, you watch a show like Alias, and obviously there's some things to be expected, just like Andor. This show has delivered on multiple levels. I really like it. Look, William's in here. Wishing you guys well.
If you haven't
watched
seen
it, take a step.
out.
Yeah.
Also, William couldn't if I tried.
Look what William won, by the way, for Potathon. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh man, I saw like a picture. Go ahead. You want me? Let me pull you. Let me pull you full screen here.
What?
Whoa.
That's
William
like
rules Mandalore.
There's like, hey, here's money. Isn't that awesome?
They just sent like today's episode, the heist. They were pulling giant truckloads of gold and all that. That is what that is. Hasbro basically gave the like a day, like a week's pay, or a year payroll or something.
It's funny. It's
from
like
the Imperial.
But who doesn't deserve it more? My boy William. He
deserves it. Way to go!
I think like $50 or like $100 for Potathon. He's only like 13.
William,
like what? He didn't have to do that, and then it's double what he donated.
You're supposed to be paying us, William. You're not supposed to be giving money to the Styrofoam children. You're supposed to give money to us. All right.
Yeah, bro.
Also, just for Patreon exclusive, I am wearing my members only jacket.
Oh, wow!
It's got kind of a Han Solo feel to it.
By the way, let's address that before we go any further. For patrons, what we're doing now with this show is that what we plan on doing, I'll put a message in the Patreon. We're gonna post this after it airs because we see that these videos get a lot of engagement, which obviously helps our YouTube. So we're gonna be posting this. Great. You get the live stream. They get the post stream. So anyone watching this in the past, hope you're enjoying this commentary so far. Yes. I guess we should get back into it, William.
We should. Hey, listen. Our channel, the more our channel grows, the more stuff we can do for you guys.
Yeah, it's true.
That's what we're doing.
I agree. So this episode, stay Bombad, Hottie, and Gerry. Thanks, bud. Thanks, Seth Green.
Thank you.
Changing our lives. Okay, William, time for you to tune out. We don't want to spoil anything for you. I thought it was a very well done episode. I love it. It built really well. Waiting, a couple of weeks for this. This show's format's definitely been the more two very exposition heavy episodes than one huge climactic episode. I don't know where the rest of the season's going to go from here for that reason, because I don't know how they're going to format the rest of the season at this point, because the note we end on is pretty firm on this one. It's
it's the whole okay, that mission was a success. We're hearing whispers of rebellion. But it seems to be the formula is they said it's the 3-episode arcs.
Yeah.
So it seems to be set up story, boom.
Yeah.
Set up story, boom. Set up story, boom is probably what it's maybe, but I don't know. It could, again, they could flip the script on us.
They could, which is
Everything.
fine. I'm
We've
fine
been
with
waiting
that.
2 episodes for that dinner party though, and I am just absolutely, I'm starving. I'm starving.
He's
I'm starving for
frothing at the
drama.
mouth.
We got a morsel. Go away, William. Your way. We got a morsel of Imperial, like of Mon Mothma and that kind of, like, honestly, can I tell you? I don't know. I think you might be the same. I loved the heist. I loved all of that.
Oh,
I'm more interested in the Mon Mothma stuff right now.
Me too.
Not that I'm not interested in Cassie, because I'm not some heathen like you who hates Rogue One or whatever, pisses on it, whenever they, just for fun. But I want, because that scene was, no, I'm good. I'm done waxing philosophical. Thank you though. But that was that little bit where we're in the Senate. How did you react to that? By the way?
Was incredible.
That's like, we're big. And we saw it in the trailer, but to be back, we're back.
What made me sad was, and this is kind of the point, I think they're trying to, I guess, you know what I'm going to say too. They try. I think they're trying to show the overall control the Empire has, because there was barely anyone in the chamber itself.
Democracy dies, and everyone else was just kind of talking. And
they're talking over her.
It looks like our Congress.
It does. And then they leave whenever Mon Mothma talks about her bill. Like, people straight up get up and walk out. Yeah. I was like, ooh, this is different.
It's so depressing.
Oh yeah.
Which it's supposed to be. Excuse me, I didn't mean to hit my mic there. It's supposed to be depressing.
Yeah.
Because how did Henry Gilroy put it? He said he wants to show or whoever said it in the lead up to this, how you want to show the not brutality, but just like the depravity of the Empire. Where it is. And it is like a mirror to our own society, especially us as Americans and stuff. Yeah. And it's just, honestly, it's a little too real.
It is. And like, no one listening to the level-headed person at the end, and obviously leading up to it,
right?
We don't see any of Mon Mothma story. We don't see any of the ISB story that's going on under the table. We don't see a lot of stories. And then it kind of builds to a climax and they finally break the news. And I guess for anyone watching or listening, they pull the heist off, but at great cost, right? They lose that Imperial, I guess, was he a lieutenant or something? One of the commanders,
right at the beginning of the fight.
Yes.
Like, he gets like, and because I was just watching a little bit. I didn't make it all the way through before we got on tonight, but I watched right up to, and he gets like, because for one thing, the one one dude who was in charge, who like was the horrible guy who was in charge of everything.
Okay, no, the commandant. The engineer is the first one that dies. Yes,
the engineer, but I'm talking about the commandant at
when
the
he has
end,
a heart
like
attack?
talking. Yeah, he has a heart attack, but like he's trying to talk to him, and when that happens, like, boom, he's like the first one that gets like taken out. Wait,
I love that when he had his heart attack, there's a lot of first in Star Wars, by the way. I want to address that. The first penis shake.
The first,
did you notice that?
Do you have to call it the penis shake? No, because like I was like, oh, he's right there. Oh, they like standing there talking. I'm like, he's taking a space piss.
He's peeing on their land. It was very metaphorical. It was beautiful.
He's taking it. Oh yeah, and like it was very like. We don't like to make reference. Star Wars doesn't like to make reference to bodily functions. In Rebels, we had I'm surprised that wasn't the first shake. We heard the first zip.
Yeah,
we heard the first space fly.
But you literally heard the shake, and you saw his arm do the shake. I'm like, whoa.
Oh yeah, he was shaking, and I got to go back and count, to make sure. Like Good Charlotte says, he did not shake it 3 times, because then he would be playing with himself.
Yep, that's true.
There you go. Go look up Good Charlotte, kids. It's the 90s. It was great.
So I saw that happen, and obviously this episode had some very good metaphorical, speak, like the lamb skin, the sheep skin, whatever they bring, and they're like disgusted by the smell of it.
Oh my god!
God!
It was. Listen, the talk about the Aldini people, and I think it's very, very, very brave of them to make them not aliens.
Yeah, no,
they're actual
humans.
like, and not they're not like, oh, they're actual people, because in Star Wars they're all beings, they're all people. But I think it says a lot more to the viewer, especially the casual viewer. Like, wow, it got very, very space racist, very, very quick,
very quickly.
And I mean, like, just like out and about, like, and oh my God, it was very uncomfortable.
Yeah, there was some things that I cringed at, not because it made me uncomfortable, for not because it was bad, but because it made me uncomfortable. I was like, oh my God, like,
like, ooh,
they are horrible,
disgusting
people.
Person.
Yeah. And like, when the fat man's trying to try on his belt and he couldn't try it on, and I'm like,
I was like, there you go.
He's like talking down to his wife, just go out there and smile.
So I was,
if we do this right, we get to leave this planet, been there for 4 years or whatever he said. I was like, good God.
I want to know what happened to his wife and kid, because I was like, they got like taken with him as well. He doesn't give a shit about them.
No.
Like, you can tell he doesn't give a shit. And honestly, the wife is like she's barely there anyway. She's there because like she's probably scared of him or whatever, because he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I wonder if we'll catch up with them or what's going on, you know, like anyway, probably not.
It's so funny because we talked about this last week, like in Rebels, how they can just like walk in, no problem, like barely a plan.
Oh man,
this show, you kind of see
going
why.
From this to Rebels is a trip.
Yeah. You can see why though in a base like this, because it seems a little bit more like, and maybe it's just what Dave does in storytelling, but this is very like, you have to be at this time, at this moment, with your gun blast, your blaster facing up or down. Like, it's got to make sense. And they walk the walk, and they, did everything else. But like leading up to what inevitably got them trying to steal the bankroll, or I guess the payroll, that was some intense stuff. That was tension very well done. The communicator getting jammed, and like, that was good. Like,
I thought they were about to blow that dude up, honestly. Like, I thought they were about to blow that up as a distraction.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, he's going to go. But like, it's like they start out, you start out thinking like, oh, maybe this guy's a good one. Remember, like, I think it's the last episode, and then he says something about the smell of the people, and I'm like, oh, Jesus. Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, you little bigot. Oh, okay.
God.
Yeah. But it's just, the tension
very good
is insane. And I talked with Alden a little bit this morning. I'm sure you've seen some of the tweets and stuff about a lot of people have been saying this. It's not me.
Yeah.
Like, the TIE fighters are still terrifying.
Oh, they always
like, they're still like, it's complete, like when they're like getting in and doing all the flight systems and everything.
So cool. God, that was so cool. With the meteors coming down in the background, like, beautiful. Oh,
so they built that up for 2 episodes, and I'm like, what is this going to be? Is it going to actually deliver? And
it reminded me of Solo. It reminded me of Solo. It was very
little bit.
Yeah, it had like a Solo feeling to it.
I love that they keep coming up with like natural and space kind of like weird natural occurrences that are something that is not of this world, but still very plausible.
Yeah.
But I love that, like, dude, the chase through
what
are they? They're meteors, right?
I think they're meteors, and they're just like barely going through the atmosphere. And
right.
And like the ship flying through it, and the TIE fighters behind it, and the TIE fighters getting there.
That was so Solo.
It was throwing off their signals and throwing off their radar, and like they couldn't get it past it, and they just all getting hit and stuff like that. That was very well done. Like, I will say,
all of it.
I've dogged on this show a little bit, but there's some things I'm like, this. If this wasn't a theater, I would be on the edge of my seat. But the problem with Andor, not really a problem, is I know that he will make it out okay, and most of our other, I guess, parts of the crew didn't even make it out alive. And like, there were some things that like hurt to watch, like when that first officer gets that I forget the guy that kind of led it, the guy that was next stormtrooper,
the ex-stormtrooper. He goes like right after the Imperial defector.
Yeah. God, that was quick. That was brutal.
So quick.
Yeah, and to have that whole situation happen the way it does, and it's so funny. They all listened. It shows the Empire obviously provides a job, but it does not provide a good enough security, because everyone was willing to turn their I guess respect for the Empire off the second shit got real. Like, the second someone had a blaster at that commander's face, he was like, all right, give him the money. Yeah, like, and I'm like, it's so funny because we've seen Imperials that are very headstrong that wouldn't do that no matter what. So it's kind of nice to see like the weaker side of the Empire in that moment,
Yeah,
when they're loading up the money.
And the Empire is like, they've got like, sure, we've seen like the Empire is great, like I'm not gonna back down, style of Imperial, but ultimately they're all cowards.
Ultimately,
that's why they're with the Empire, is because I'm on the winning team. Like I don't want to be on that. No, I don't know. I'm gonna be on the winning team, and also I like I don't know, digging up planets to death.
guess I also think it's part of it's like you have very good job security if you do your job well, and some people would prefer to have job security.
You don't want to get fired though.
No, you don't. It's so weird. It's like I couldn't imagine working for something so, I guess, cutthroat, but I guess that a lot of people have those jobs. You know what I mean? You had a job before where it was like, if you weren't on time, we're going to dock you and your pay. I'm like, that's insane, but that's how some companies roll. And it feels a little bit like an Empire when that happens. Like when that guy was like, God, what part was it? He's like, I need the base to be perfect. Talking to
I want that word ringing in your ears.
Yeah, I know. Perfect. I was like, oh,
like he like yells it. Oh man,
I know
that dude made me so. I was like,
I know
this dude is getting on my last effing nerve, man.
God, it was so good.
And again, like, so well done. The way they're not flinching with real world topics and real world ugliness.
Yes.
And again, it's something that Star Wars has Star Wars has done it before and is not necessarily shied away from it. But again, it is very much, it's not ham-fisted.
No,
it's like, it's naked.
It's matter of fact.
Here it is.
Naked's a good way to put it.
Here's the ugly truth of the world we live in.
Exactly.
Is that people don't like people. People look down on people just because of who they are.
Exactly.
Superiority complexes and that nature.
It's a brutal watch. Like, especially with, I'm watching it with Katie. She was not very interested in the most recent 2 episodes. It took to this one for her to be like kind of perked up. And that's something to say about the show's format that I also agree with her on. But at the same exact time, when you're invested and, they don't really give you everything you want for the most part. Not that it's a bad thing. What's going on? Look at Nick's in the chat. Nick, what's going on? Potatoes. Nick, we're actually getting to a pretty cool part where we're in our discussion when we talk about the unexpected deaths this show brought. So that's what I was leading into. Was inevitably this show has done a few things that we don't often see in Star Wars that we don't really hold true for the most part. Like when I was watching Mando season 1, I knew Fennec Shin wasn't dead. Like there was just no way. Like
right,
you know what I mean? Like when they had Boba Fett walk on, like she's gonna get saved, whatever all that means. And yes, we're talking about the war in Star Wars. That's
very serialized westerns. Yeah. Oh yeah. We're the wars. We're gonna. Here's a nickel. Go see a Star War. That's what we're doing.
So it was the scene that kind of surprised us, is when Skeen's like, there's how much you think is in there, and he's like, I really don't know. What do you think?
That was
so want to talk about that. He was like
most surprising.
What was it? 80 million? They thought they're like 80 million.
Something 80 million credits.
He goes, you take
split
40,
it down the middle.
I take 40. I got a moon that's like 500 parsecs away from whatever he said. I'm like, oh my God,
at 2 parsecs. Yeah,
I'm like, what do you think that means? Like how would they have pulled taking half that money and like actually doing that? And like it was such
he was talking about taking all the money, leaving them with nothing. And
God, that would have changed the whole course of the rebellion if that was the case. And you're watching that scene, I'm like, there's no way like he's gonna either have to go rat him out to what's her name? No, what's her name?
Shit.
8 parsecs and 80 million.
8 parsecs,
yeah.
Hold on here. Let me.
No, it's okay. No, it's okay. I forget her name.
It's
Vel. That's it. Nick
Vel.
Vel. Yeah.
Yes.
Vel. So he's like
a learned individual in the chat.
They were going to just do it and not worry about Vel, and I was like, that's insane, And even casting was like, bro, that's messed up, and it's amazing.
And when you look back, and like we could talk about exactly his fate. After this, but just like I went back and I've been thinking about how many interactions Cassian has had with this guy.
Yeah.
This has been like, and that's the thing with these slow burn shows is it's like you slowly piece it together, and like if it's done well at the end, you're like, you look back through and all of a sudden everything snaps into place. Like, oh, like, because he, like, you know, he was so distrusting of Cassian and all this kind of stuff, and now he's like, I don't know, maybe it's because he thinks he's a mercenary. He's like, oh, you know, I'll buy you off.
God, and that did not work.
Well, he knew he had been to prison or something, right? Too, because he had the prison tattoo. There were so many little things, like, I know who you are. We're the same kind of person. Like
God, that's a good point. I didn't think about the prison connection because they've been through enough and they've lost enough that if they pulled this off, it wouldn't be so bad, right? And
that guy, whatever, I forget his name. What did you say his name was? Scheme. Scheme. He. Where was he going with that? He you could I don't know, like he was more into it than Cass. Like, he's just like he thinks like he's like, you're like, oh, we're gonna do this, and this is like the kind of like, but just I know.
God,
it's, and just I know the what you're thinking about is like what how is he gonna, what's he gonna do? Right.
Is he really gonna do it? The fact that he blasted him, he killed him, I was like, oh my God, right there, no ifs, ands, or buts. Before he can get a word out, just boom. And I was like, no way. Like, this is, and because my brain instantly goes to
cowboy shit.
My brain instantly went to, what's he gonna tell Vel? Like, truly, like, what the hell?
Well, even after,
because they've trusted Skeen the whole time, and they thought Cassie was gonna bail. And so we got Nemec, and he's getting his body worked on by Maz Kanata's husband.
Oh God,
that was wild. Whatever that was. But that was a wild looking alien.
He was getting his. It looked like was that Al Pacino?
It looked like Pacino. He was giving him a what's it called, an epidermal? What do they do? They give a woman so they can get pregnant.
Epidural.
Epidural. No, but the dude gets his back snapped, and like the best part of Nemec's demise. The best part was when he was like, "You need to fly up." He's like, "If I do, I'm going to hit that." He says, "No, right now, fly up right now." You know, he says the K2SO line? He says, climb, and then he's climbing up, and I'm like, oh Jesus! And they made it, obviously.
That was so intense. But like, so when he initially gets smashed in between the credits, which already I'm like, that shit looks so heavy.
Oh, like it is.
And like, you know, and I used to work at a bank.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that. Okay.
That stuff, like even like cash and everything, but like, I mean, big whole, like, you go get like a brick, like if you want $10 in quarter, like or like someone wants a roll of quarters, you have to refill your drawer with a box of like, I think it's like $100 worth of quarters, and it is like heavier than a brick.
I bet it's very heavy, and you're like,
it's like if I dropped it on my foot, it would break it, you know. And so I don't know. I didn't know what to think. I was like, oh God, something bad's happening.
I can't feel my legs. I was like, Jesus.
I thought we were gonna have a Professor X situation, honestly. I don't know if I was the only one. Because like he was like right there.
Yeah, he was right
through the whole
there.
thing. Like he did it, but oh man.
And then he didn't make it.
In Star Wars, what they gave him, like that, like they gave him the health stem too, or whatever, right? Like it was freaking Pulp Fiction.
It was.
And like it still didn't work, which is crazy. Like you think about like the Inquisitor literally got stabbed in the gut.
Walks away.
And this poor kid, which I mean, that shows the meager resources, I guess.
Sure, of course. And like this is great. Look, Nick said he was
crazy that like this still happens in this kind of galaxy. He
was crushed under the weight of the Empire's gold.
Oh my God.
You know, it's kind of like Icarus. He flew too close to the sun. Even as a team, they flew too close to the sun. They're pushing it. They were trying to add more money as they could, and it didn't end up helping. You know, and it's
it's the cost, man.
Yep. And then
the cost of it.
When Cassian walks in with the blaster pointed at them, and that doctor's like, "What the hell? Like, what's going on?" And he has to tell Vel, like, "I just killed Skeen. You're not going to believe me, but he wanted to turn on you. All I need is my portion of the money, and I'm gonna go." And then literally they covered him with a blanket, and he was like, "Nemec wanted you to have this." I was like, "Oh my God, that was good."
But
the book,
his manifesto or whatever, like just his thoughts and everything about literature.
He wanted you to have this. Jesus Christ.
I want to go because like he had a lot of like you could tell that kid was like constantly just like this was again not to get too like into like our normal social circle, but like he was like the Alden Diaz of the group, where he's like just very pontificating all the time and everything. Like, I imagine that Alden has a manifesto tucked away in a drawer somewhere.
He's like if Alden and Connor were like a combined organism, you know, with the sense of like Connor's a little bit more,
dash of Jared,
a little bit more timid than Alden. Like I honestly couldn't see Alden being that like nervous around something, but seeing Nemec that nervous kind of makes sense, you know, because he's a thinker, he's a doer, but unfortunately, like Nick said, you know, in the end he got crushed under the weight of literally responsibility, literally crushed, and like, you know, his death means something for the rebellion, and I think that book will ultimately lead to either Cassian's turn or in some way be the book that Mon Mothma reads. Like maybe it becomes a big part of Star Wars lore that we never knew he needed. That would be so cool if there was always a secret manifesto for the rebellion, those thoughts on fascism, and they even talk about that. That would be amazing to see written out, or maybe we'll get the novel of that one day, or that someone publishes.
Oh my
God!
I mean?
Like,
can you imagine?
You know, by
give Kelly Knox that job. No,
or whoever. Kristen Baver could write a great book like that.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. You get so much in this episode, and then one of the best scenes that like actually made me tear up. And this show hasn't done that much of that for me, except for the third episode of Andor with him and his adoptive mom. Like that was like, whoa, that was brutal. The part that I teared up at on a big level was whenever Luthien like, you know, he said, what was the, do you have anything from you have anything from Aldhani? Aldhani, yes. Aldhani. And he's like, why? You know, there's nothing really there. And he's like, well, a big rebel attack actually, you know, went through there. And then it cuts the ISB like, we need to have an emergency meeting right now. And I was like, oh, this is how it starts.
But that was his whole like I think they did that, but like I love that he gets that information, then he's like, please excuse me, walks to the back and is like basically the equivalent of like that Will Ferrell gif, like yes.
Oh my god. And it was kind of sweet. You could see the in Stellan Skarsgård's eyes, you can see like the happiness. Dude, and I was like, Jesus.
He did like a this kind of thing. Like
he was
which I mean, that's some good adhesive he's got with that wig or something, or whatever. That's a good wig.
That's a space wig.
Stays in place.
But that moment really spoke to me. I was like, wow, this is if this is how the rebellion begins on like a financial level, because we know there's been seeds of it, and they even bring that up. This is the first coordinated attack by the rebellion. You know, we get the kind of cool. We get the smallest one, like the on land attack in Andor, but in Rogue One we get the very first coordinated like the first invasion. Like, oh man,
the first like full scale, like out in the open. We're calling you out to war.
This is the first time. I kind of like that's very good parallels. Like, this show is going to be amazing to watch when it's all said and done. I won't disagree on that, but like, you know, this episode took a lot to build to, and it was very well done. I don't think I would have enjoyed. This sounds mean. I don't think I would have enjoyed these characters' deaths as much, or felt the deaths as much if that other episode didn't.
Your lust for blood was satiated.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I kept thinking too, and I've been like sitting here like squirming in my chair, like you think, like I kept thinking about the line from Rogue One. Yeah, it's Rogue One is actually a Star Wars movie, Scotty. It was actually the second one Disney release, Lucasfilm under Disney release.
Disney bought Lucasfilm.
Actually, and they put out a film with this Cassian Andor in it. But the line when he says, "We've all done terrible things in the name of the rebellion."
Yeah.
Whenever they get in there and like the way it is a hostage situation, and the good guys are the hostage takers.
Yeah.
But it's and again, not morally gray. Like again, the Empire is effing terrible.
Oh, of course.
They're fascists. They're literal fascists. But it's just, you know, that kid doesn't give a shit about the Empire. His mother doesn't. They just want to get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
And like I think about like that. I think about him gunning down right there.
Mhm.
Like Cassian Andor is the Han Solo badass that you guys are looking for, man. He's the one who's like, boom, like I'll take it. Like he took out. I keep wanting to say Skier because that's a High Republic. That's a High Republic Jedi.
Yeah.
So that's why I got confused earlier.
The Trandoshan one.
Skeen.
See, I know.
Skier. But anyway, no. But I just kept going back to that. Like we've all done terrible things in the name of the rebellion, and this we're seeing that. We're seeing the blood on his hands. To where it gets to the point where he finally kills whatever the dude's name is in Rogue One, when everyone was like, oh, I can't believe he killed that dude.
Yeah.
By that point, it's like just
the guy in the back. Yeah.
It's putting on his socks to him. It's like, I gotta get rid of him because it's dead weight and I gotta get out of here. But you can see, like, and now looking back on that scene, you can see in his face, he does so well of like, the regret.
Yep.
You can see the years
100%
of horrible stuff that this man has done in the name of doing something good.
That's right.
So anyway,
it's very well done. I'm enjoying this show.
That's my spiel of the show.
Predictions for next week, Jerry, before we wrap this thing up. I think we're going to get more Mon Mothma. I hope
I
want
more Mon Mothma.
Good.
We're talking about it, man.
We need to
pray to our Lord and Savior Mon Mothma.
give us a show called Mothma or something. Like, give it to us, right?
I want more Genevieve O'Reilly. And again, like, I love everything that's been going on, but like we were talking about earlier, I want to get back in there, and we have been waiting for my dinner at Mothma's for 2 episodes. For 2 episodes, we're like, oh, it's coming. So I'm gonna say, dude, what if the next arc is Cassian kind of like Cassian and Luthien kind of like going back and forth, like,
well, I wonder because
he trusting each other.
I think he was fleeing. I really think Cassian's going to leave, get caught somehow, and then he's going to get arrested and end up in that Imperial prison, whatever we've been seeing.
That makes sense.
That'd be great. That'd be really cool. I would like that.
I want. Give me 2 episodes of them preparing for the dinner party with Sly Moore. Give me Sly Moore practicing the dice in the mouth thing.
Oh,
give me like 2 minutes, 2 full minutes of her just putting the dice in her mouth.
She's like, name a number. Your number was 7, wasn't it? They're like, yeah, what?
I can make I think you should leave reference. It would fall on deaf ears, but like she's got like a fedora with safari flaps in the back. She keeps dice in her pockets at all times. She's fun.
She's real fun, real wild person.
Yeah.
Jerry, I guess we should hype up. Next week we're going to be covering this. Obviously, if you're watching this right now in the moment, tomorrow we're going to be talking about something very creepy on Bombadcast. Oh, let's hear it.
Okay, so our mutual friend Boop, they are joining us, and we are going to be trying to scare the socks off a scale. We're gonna say socks because we don't want to, like, between you and me though, he's not wearing socks. But we're going to be talking about the haunting of the Sally house.
Here we go.
And it's a little different. If you've watched us the last couple of years, and our other one I realized was on our first one was on the Patreon of Beyond the Blast Doors.
The first Beyond. We covered the hold on. I know exactly what it is because I talk about it in class all the time. Not the Emerald Eye things. The I forget the exact name of it. It's the one
they do have some weird eyes.
Yeah, it's the forget the Jesus. Give me a hint. Just give me a hint because I can do the
Kelly.
Kelly Knoxville. No, I'm just kidding. The Kelly
Knoxville.
Shit. What is it?
The Kelly Hopkinsville goblins.
Kelly Hopkins. Yes, I remember the full story too. Shotgun house. The little house. Like I found like that. I found that like report from I think it was from MUFON, like the Mutual UFO Network. Yeah.
Or organization, whatever.
So
it had diagrams of the house and everything. But anyway, we're not gonna have diagrams of the house for this one.
Last year we discussed the Men in Black, which is a great episode. Yes. You referred to the Black-Eyed Children.
Talked a little bit of Black-Eyed Kids.
Yeah. And then we're talking about the Sally house tomorrow, which I don't know anything about it. So Woo!
Let me just say,
look,
the Sally
I'm such a
House.
skeptic when it comes to spoopy stuff that I can't wait to watch it be plot by
Dude,
your nonsense.
So we are going to be playing, and it is actually it's content of another podcast and stuff, but it's like a recording that they made.
Yeah.
And we're gonna give them all the credit and everything. But they did again, and if you're interested in it after all this, Scotty, which you're probably like, nope. After this,
nope.
They have a great it's the Astonishing Legends podcast.
Okay. You've talked about it before.
Oh, they do very, if you want deep dive getting into, they go and they like, okay, so could it have been this? Could it have been that?
Yeah.
Let's go and talk to an expert in this.
Yeah.
And things like that. But this is a cinematic haunting of the First Order. It just feels very like Spielberg and very it feels more maybe Wes Craven a little bit, maybe.
I'm excited. That's gonna be a good stream tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it for real.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. Great. Come and get scared. There's gonna be fun. There's gonna be Bombad fun in there as well. So
and then next week we have our highlight of the year. And if so, like Nick, I know you want to write a creepypasta, or one of your kids do, please. We have our creepypasta episode next week.
Bring it on.
Read stories submitted by obviously Bombadcast and Star Wars fans of Star Wars creepypastas. I'm gonna write mine probably this weekend when I got some time, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm pumped.
And I should probably do that.
Yes.
So yes.
I'm very excited. That being said, y'all, stay Bombad. For those watching on the rewind, remember to like, subscribe, share with your friends and family if they like the Bombadcast, of course. And always, Gerry, what should they do? What should the wonderful people do?
Well, you should not talk about the smell of people, because that's racist. But also, stay Bombad.